Hello everyone, welcome back to my astrology channel. So in today's video I will be talking about the full moon in the sign of Leo that is occurring on the 16th of February at about 27 degree 59 minutes Leo. So full moon is a time when the sun and moon are opposite to each other, so it forms an opposition between your identity and your emotional self. So finding a middle ground, finding a balance between your sun and your moon is definitely required during this time. Now full moon is to do with culmination and fulfillment, so we hope for some kind of culmination or fulfillment or awareness, or some things coming to light and full understanding during the full moon in the matters wherever the full moon falls, the sign where it falls. So this is a Leo full moon, so wherever your Leo sign sits in your chart, there is some kind of need for realization or resolution or some kind of awareness in those matters. Now the sign of Leo is ruled by the sun, and the sun will be in the sign of Aquarius opposing this moon, so there's going to be a lot of emphasis on Aquarius matters as well during this full moon. So there is your Leo matters and Aquarius matters, so your personal expression and your personal power, you'll have to find a balance with what you are personally trying to achieve and personally trying to express, and you'll have to balance it with other people's need, collective need, just general public need, because Aquarius is a sign of the masses and people at large basically. So on the 16th of February, on the full moon day, you will reach some kind of maybe a dramatic culmination of or some kind of really major awareness, or some resolution will come about in your Leo matter wherever your Leo sign sits. Now this full moon occurs at about 27 degrees Leo sign, so if you have got planets or angles at that point, then you will feel the effect of this full moon more personally, more significantly. Also if you have planets or angles at other fixed signs, then also you'll feel the opposing force or the squaring aspect of this full moon. Now the other thing that's happening during this full moon is this full moon is going to form a square aspect to the nodes, so the north node and the south node, which are on the Taurus and Scorpio axis since January 2022. This full moon in the sign of Leo, which is a fixed sign, and Taurus and Scorpio are also fixed sign, so it's going to form a square aspect. So when a full moon forms a square aspect with your north node and your south node, you may feel kind of pulled in either direction. You may feel the emotional pull in either direction, so where you are going and where you're coming from. The north node is where you're going and south node is where you're coming from. So what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to release during this time may be poorly conceived, and you may not have a clear vision of how you want to achieve these things. So whatever you're trying to achieve with your north node and whatever you're trying to achieve with your south node, you may feel emotionally pulled in either direction, and at the end of the day you may feel that you're not able to achieve north node or the south node, both the matters. So you may feel kind of stuck in terms of how to balance both the energies. Basically you will have clarity how you want to go, but this vision that you have, this whatever you want to achieve during this time, you may not be able to achieve it because of the squaring aspect. It is a challenging aspect, but the main thing with the square is that you need to channel your energy and really plan your things out, and and then go about, and that's how you can achieve the north node and south node, whatever you want to achieve during this time. Now the full moon usually a time when there's a lot of focus on relationship and all kind of relationships, not just romantic relationship, all kind of relationship. Though Leo, it does signify romance because it's a fifth house energy, so it does signify love and romance. With full moon angle, it's all kind of relationship. It's a time to balance out energies in your life, any kind of relationship angle that you have, so it's definitely a good time to balance it out. Also Venus and Mars are going to be conjunct in the sign of Capricorn during this time, so there's already a need for balancing your love life, your relationship, your drives, ambition, passion, creativity, romance, all that thing in your life during this time. Is definitely there is a need, and you will have an inclination to definitely balance these energies out in your life, because there's so much planetary energy, so much help from the planets to do this. Though Venus and Mars are not forming any kind of aspect with the full moon during this time on the 16th of February, still that energy is in the sky, and you will feel that energy around this time. So it's really a good energy in terms of balancing your relationship, and wherever your Capricorn sign sits, it's to bring more passion and drive, to be more direct in those matters and to be more passionate, creative in those matters. So definitely that energy is there. But this full moon in the sign of Leo Leo is going to bring fulfillment, resolution, clarity, awareness, culmination, whatever you are seeking during this time, especially something that you started in the last 6 months when the new moon was in the sign of Leo. That you may see some kind of movement or some kind of culmination in those matters, or some kind of reward, or resolution, or just some kind of ending, like a creative. If you're involved creatively, you might see that a creative project or a relationship or something that is coming to a culmination, or is moving up, next step, it's moving upwards. So definitely that's the full moon in Leo energy on the 16th of February. Now I'll discuss all the 12 zodiac signs and how this full moon is going to affect each of the 12 signs. So let's begin. Aries, for you, the Leo full moon occurs in your 5th house. That's where your Leo sign sits. Now, the Aquarius sign is obviously the 11th sign, the opposite to 5th house. So the 5th house and 11th house axis is spotlighted during this full moon. Now, Aries, if you were involved in any kind of creative project or any solo project, something that you're working on, during this time you may reach a milestone or some kind of culmination or an end to a creative project. You might achieve some kind of fulfillment, or like a culmination in your creative endeavors during this time, and that might lead to some kind of upliftment, reward, in career matters. Now there's a lot of influence in Aquarius matter during this time, because there's Saturn and Mercury as well in your 11th house, though they are not conjuncting the sun on the 16th of February, but they are there in the same sign. So there's a lot of 11th house emphasis, your social scene, your collaboration, your collective, how you connect with your peers and groups, and all that is definitely there. But Aries, during this full moon, there's an emotional focus for you on the 5th house matter, which is your creativity, how you project yourself, how you connect with your own talents and hobbies, and how you bring those out in your social scene, how you connect with them on that level. Now, just focusing on your self is not going to reap much reward. So there's a need for balance between your own self, your own creativity, and balancing it with what the group wants, what the social scene is, what the peers, what the organization wants. So balancing it out is most definitely required during this time. Now, Aries 5th house is about pursuing your desires, pursuing what brings happiness to you, what brings delight to you. Now, 5th house also deals with romance, love affairs, children, and just your own creativity, your own personal passion. So there will be some kind of focus for you on these matters during this time. So there is definitely your mind is definitely a lot on your self, on your solar project, and how you're expressing your own ambitions, your creativity, your passions, how you're projecting your talents, and the hobbies that you have, and all that. So there's a lot of focus on these matters. You definitely want to lead from a place of personal power, but just stay aware and be mindful of community wants. What's your social scene? What are their expectations, and what do they expect from you, whatever the expectation is from you. So definitely it's a time to celebrate your achievement, your interest, your passion, focus on your solo projects, and also balance it out with the community, what the other people, the organization, and what the group needs are. Now, Aries, on the 16th of February, this full moon is going to form a square aspect with both the nodes, the north node and the south node. Now, north node and south node are in your 2nd and 8th house axis, with Taurus and Scorpio sign sits in your chart. So the 2nd house and 8th house matter, which is about money matters, your personal finance and your shared finance. So that comes into focus as well on the 16th of February, because this full moon forming a square aspect with the nodes kind of gives an energy of being pulled in either direction. So you may not be able to form firm decision or make firm decision in your money matters during this time, because you may feel confused, or what you're trying to, the vision that you have for the future in your money matters is not achieved, or you're not able to achieve that, even though you want to achieve. You're feeling a bit kind of challenged in terms of what you want to achieve during this time. So make sure your financial matters are well planned, Aries, during this time, so that you don't feel unclear or confused with this square aspect. Though full moon is a very illuminating time, but with a square aspect you may feel kind of challenged in terms of growing your financial well-being, improving or enhancing that. So definitely that's something to watch out for. Also, if you channel your energy correctly and positively, then you can use this challenging square aspect to improve or understand your finances better during this time. Now Venus and Mars is going to be in the sign of Capricorn, forming a conjunction, so you will definitely feel a sense of harmony in your career matters. Also the efforts that you have been putting, you may reap the rewards, or you may get a sense of accomplishments or success or achievement in your career matters during this time. So Aries, this full moon in Leo is definitely a time to celebrate yourself, celebrate your interest, where your happiness lies. Pursue where your happiness lies, your creativity, your passion and all that, but also keep a balance in terms of what the collective needs are, what the group needs, collaboration. If you're collaborating, other people's need are collective needs during this time, Aries. Taurus, for you, the full moon in Leo on the 16th of February occurs in your 4th house. Now, 4th house is the house of your home and family members. It's your emotional, where you find your emotional comfort and security. So there's a lot of focus on your 4th house matter. You want to stay at home. You want to nurture yourself and people in your home environment. So there's a lot of home-related activity taking place around this full moon. And it's a very warm and welcoming time for you, because you are seeking nurturance and fulfillment in your home, home matters. So it's definitely a great time to focus on your family members, on your home environment, on your real estate as well. There might be some kind of news coming out regarding your real estate as well, if you're investing or something, like if you're moving houses. So that might, some kind of news may come regarding that. So definitely a great time, Taurus, to keep the spotlight on your emotional foundation and your physical foundation during this time. But there is Sun in the sign of Aquarius on the opposite side of your 4th house, which is the 10th house, which is about your reputation. It's about your career matters and your professional matters. So there would be a need to balance your home matters and your career matters. So you cannot ignore your career matters during this time, because there's a lot of focus in the sign of Aquarius on the 16th of February and the entire month of February as well, because there's a Saturn, Mercury and Sun in the sign of Aquarius. So all this energy in Aquarius will help you to achieve your career goals and ambition. Whatever you're trying to achieve, accomplish, you will be able to get there, most definitely. So the best thing is to find a harmony between your home, your emotional self, your home life, and what you're trying to achieve in the outside world, in the external world, Taurus. Now, this full moon in the sign of Leo in your 4th house is forming a square aspect with the nodes in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio. So North node is in your sign, in the sign of Taurus, and Scorpio, that's where the South node is, which is your 7th house, which is the relationship house. So what you're trying to achieve in terms of your relationship and at home may be at odds during this time. You may not have a clear understanding of what you want to do, or you may feel pulled in either direction in terms of your relationship and what you're trying to achieve for yourself, your own personal destiny, your own personal priority. So you may feel kind of pulled between your home matters, your career matters, your relationship with yourself and others. So it's a kind of a challenging aspect for all these matters, but only in terms of getting pulled in either direction and not have a clear vision of where you want to go. Or even if you have a clear vision, you may still feel a kind of you can't make a decision which way to go. So the best thing is to weigh all your options and find a balance and lead from a more balanced space. Now Venus and Mars is going to be conjunct in the sign of Capricorn in your 9th house. So whenever Venus joins forces with Mars and in the sign of Capricorn, which is to do with your reputation in the world, which is to do with your career matters, and also the Venus and Mars gets very serious and down to business in the sign of Capricorn. Now it is in your 9th house, which is about learning, traveling, education, new opportunities and all that. Though this Venus and Mars are not making any aspect to the full moon, but it's still active around this time. So definitely, Taurus, you feel this pull towards new experiences, new opportunities, traveling, learning. You are on a quest to discover yourself because Uranus is in your first house. So definitely there's a lot of changing in belief system, balancing it out with what you're trying to achieve for yourself. So all these things is coming full circle during this time, and the need is to balance all the energies out and make firm decision and clear decision. And even if you do feel pulled in either direction, especially where your nodes are on the first and seventh house axis in terms of your relationship with yourself and others, it's a good idea to really have a clear path and really understand what you're trying to achieve, because this full moon is a great time for romance. It's a great time for your deep desires and really have a fulfillment, some kind of fulfillment in your home matters, feel relaxed, emotionally content, and inner contentment in your in your home, where you live and with whom you live. Taurus. Geminis, for you the full moon in the sign of Leo on the 16th of February occurs in your third house. Now that's where your Leo sign sits, so there's a lot of focus on your third house matter, which is to do with your communication, conversation you have, your community, siblings, neighborhood, just your local community, also short trips, learning, short term learning and all that. And Sun is in the sign of Aquarius in the opposite house, which is the ninth house, which is about further afield, which is about going further afield, new opportunities, traveling, learning, or bigger picture, your belief systems, your ethics, moral codes and all that. So you're emotionally pulled in the direction of your third house during this time, because that's where your emotional spotlight is. That's where you find your security during this time. So you're definitely in the mood during this full moon to gravitate towards your community, your inner circle, your neighborhood, your just your close knit close bondings that you have, close ties that you have. So you're definitely focused a lot on your the network, your connections, the communication, information sharing, ideas and all that. So Geminis, if you are involved in any kind of sharing your information or whatever you have, the thoughts and whatever you want to discuss, your message you have, and you want to discuss it on social media, this is a great time. Third house is a Gemini house. It's got natural Gemini energy, so it's about social media, it's about sharing information. So if you're involved in something like that during this time, like some kind of creative project, it's a great time. You will see some kind of culmination, some kind of movement, some kind of opportunity to maybe rebrand yourself or put yourself across to the audience in a better light, and really be more open with your message, or share your message with more awareness, and audience, whoever is watching you, will understand your message more clearly during this time. So definitely there is a lot of spotlight on third house matter. Now Sun is in the sign of Aquarius along with Saturn and Mercury. Now Saturn and Mercury are not in close conjunction with Sun, but they are in the same sign, so in the same house for you, in the ninth house. So you're definitely also interested in exploring and expanding your mind. You want to travel, you want to learn, and you want to really go and beyond your limit, whatever you are currently in. So there is a need to balance your third house and ninth house, which is about your local surroundings and going beyond, and traveling, experiencing new cultures, new people, connecting with new mindsets as well, new perspective, looking at the bigger picture. So definitely a great opportunity to do some kind of learning or traveling if you want. So definitely some kind of awareness in your local environment is going to give you this opportunity to travel and explore, most definitely. And you will definitely be very much interested in doing that as well, because you're definitely interested in expanding your horizon, exploring, experiencing, especially new perspective, and going beyond what your own personal opinion and mindset is, and whatever you have learned, you're sharing with the world. So that could be where your balancing is required as well. So your own mindset, which is your third house matter, your opinion that you're putting across for the world to see, for the other people beyond your people you have not met, or people the larger perspective, to take in. That is your audience. So that's your third house and ninth house aspect as well, and that will open up your mind by interacting with the wider audience, and from different cultures even, and people you have not interacted before. So that is going to definitely open your mind, and that way you will be taking a new perspective and seeing the bigger picture, Gemini. Now this full moon in Leo is forming a square aspect with the nodes, the north node and the south node, which are on the Taurus and Scorpio axis, and your 12th and 6th house, which is about health and healing. It's about your your work, your service to yourself and to others. So the message that you're putting across and you want to put across during this time, you may feel some kind of pulled in either direction. You may feel that you're not able to decide what you want to say, or your path may be unclear because you're emotionally pulled in either direction, so you can't make up your mind. So definitely whatever your vision is, Gemini, stay on that and have a clear mind in terms of what you're trying to achieve during this time, in terms of sharing the knowledge that you have, and sharing the information that you have with the audience. So definitely it's a time to decide which path, how you want to project yourself, because 12th house and 6th house is to do with the service side of it. It's to do with your daily routine, and not to escape and withdraw, which you may have the tendency during this time, because there's a north node in 12th house. That's where what you're trying to achieve, you're trying to heal yourself. So with this message sharing, you may be wanting to heal yourself and find some kind of fulfillment in terms of your own your own subconscious self and your own spiritual side, and just healing yourself as well, Geminis. Now Venus and Mars is going to be in the sign of Capricorn in your 8th house, making a conjunction. So it's a very harmonious conjunction. So it's a good idea to keep an eye on your joint finances and your shared values during this time, and the collaboration that you are forming, and the gains that you get from the collaborations and the cooperation, especially business partnership and all that. So definitely it's a harmonious time. It's a very passionate, driven, ambitious time for you in terms of gaining financial gains or mutual gains, mutual benefits from working together, building resources together. So definitely you are very much inclined during this time, and it's a very harmonious aspect as well. Venus and Mars is kind of balancing energies. So there's a need to balance, and you may gain mutually, there might be some situation mutually benefiting financial situation that may arise from this conjunction of Venus and Mars in your 8th house. So overall, Geminis, it's a time of balancing. Full moon is always about balancing anyways, because sun and moon are opposite. So it's about finding a middle ground. And if you do feel that your path is not clear in terms of your own healing, in terms of your own spiritual side, it's time to really take pause and think and to understand your vision more clearly, and you may get all this coming to you through keeping your mind open, exploring, expanding, and really gaining those new experience and seeing the new perspective and the bigger picture, Geminis. Cancer, for you, the full moon in the sign of Leo on the 16th of February occurs in your 2nd house. So your 2nd house matters is spotlighted during this time. You're emotionally connected to your 2nd house matter, which is about your personal finance and your personal values. So full moon here gives you the opportunity to enjoy, rejoice, and to celebrate what you have achieved on yourself, on your own strength, your personal achievement regarding your financial matters. So it's a great time to create this awareness, and you may reach some kind of culmination and resolution as well in your personal financial matter. If you are seeking any kind of growth, or you're seeking any kind of return on the hard work that you've put, the rewards, you will see some kind of a movement in terms of your financial matter and going forward as well, not just on the day of the full moon, but also moving forward. Or you may reach some kind of culmination in your 2nd house matter, in your material financial matters, especially the efforts you put, or if you put a new initiative when the new moon in Leo occurred in the year 2021, the six months before this full moon. So you may reach some kind of culmination in that sense as well. Now sun is in the sign of Aquarius, which is opposite to the Leo sign during this full moon, and it is your 8th house of shared finances and shared values. So there's a need to balance this energy out during this time. So your second house and eighth house matter, which is your shared values, shared finances, and your personal values and personal finance during this time. So you're building up resources together. Any efforts that you've been putting during this time or even before, because Saturn has been in the sign of your joint finances for a year now, so you're already putting in effort to build resources together. So you may reach some kind of culmination, some kind of accomplishment or some awareness or resolution in terms of how to go forward, or celebrate something that you were putting effort before this full moon. So definitely it's all about money during this time, and any kind of collaboration or cooperation, or even with your partner, if you are not just business partner, personal partner as well. So if you are working on something together for this last 6 months, you will definitely come to a kind of a resolution, some kind of a culmination, or some kind of awareness. Something will be some kind of news will arrive, something that is you can celebrate, or that can elevate your mood and really make you feel happy regarding your money matters. Now this full moon is squaring the nodes, so the nodes are in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio, which is your 11th and 5th house matter. So it's about it's about your solo projects and group projects as well. So there's a lot of focus on group projects and collaborations during this time. Now this full moon squaring the nodes, you may feel kind of pulled in either direction in terms of not having a clear path or clear understanding which path you want to go. Do you want to focus more on your own capabilities and your solo project, your own creative project, or you want to get more involved in collaborations and group activity and group projects? So your financial matter may suffer a little bit during this time because of your unclear path. So the best thing is to have a clear vision of where you're heading in terms of your finances, your projects, your group projects, and all that, and your just overall career, creativity, and money matters, Cancer. Now Venus and Mars is in the sign of Capricorn in your 7th house, so there's a lot of focus on your relationship as well, on your committed relationship. So you are definitely drawn together to build up your relationship and work on your relationship, because Venus and Mars is kind of a yin and yang energy. It's a balancing energy, very harmonious energy. So you're very driven and creative regarding your relationship matters as well. And this is not just to do with your personal or romantic relationship. It can be business relationship or any one-to-one interaction. 7th house has the energy of overall one-to-one interaction, so any kind of relationship during this time is going to be harmonious. So overall, Cancer, this is a time to create more awareness regarding your financial matters, what you create on your own, on your personal strength, your own capabilities, and what you build together in a partnership or with your close ties, intimate relationship. So you may feel kind of pulled in either direction in terms of group projects and your own personal ambitions that you have. So find a balance so that you are not letting your financial matter get affected due to collaborations or group activities during this time, Cancer. Leos, for you, the full moon in Leo occurs in your first house, in your sign. So this is a great time of culmination, awareness, fulfillment, understanding of your path, clarity regarding where you're heading, your personal destiny, personal priorities, your self-image, your appearance, how you project yourself. All that is going to come to illumination. You will be aware of that. You'll come to some kind of realization and awareness in these matters, where you're heading, what your life path is. Now this full moon in your first house is a time where the spotlight is on you, Leos. It's all about you, so don't hide away from spotlight. Project yourself, put yourself forward, and really rejoice in the accomplishment and the praise that's coming your way during this time. So definitely you deserve it, Leo, so stay put and shine your light. Now Sun is in the sign of Aquarius, in the opposite sign, which is in the 7th house, the house of relationship. So during this time, do find a balance between your own personal destiny and how you're interacting with other people, your relationships that you have, both committed and business, personal, all the relationships that you have. So do find a balance. Don't forget about your relationship because you're focusing so much on yourself. And you won't be able to ignore it anyways, because there is so much focus on your relationship house where Aquarius is. There's Sun in there, also Saturn and Mercury is there. So there's already a lot lot of redefining kind of focus on your relationship. And during this full moon, all the efforts that you have been putting, the energy that you have been investing in your relationship, Leos, is going to come to light, is going to come to some kind of fulfillment, some kind of gratification, some kind of good energy is definitely going to come during this time in terms of your relationship. And with so much focus on your relationship house during this full moon, you are probably also seeking some kind of validation or approval, or some kind of maybe discussion with people you're interacting, and their opinions are also valuable for you during this time. So it's a good idea to balance out yourself, what your expectations are and what other people's expectations are during this time, Leos. So you will come to some kind of realization also in terms of what other people want from you, what other people's perspective is regarding your matters, and you'll be able to find a kind of harmonious energy in terms of where you're heading. Now, this full moon in sign of Leo is going to be squaring the nodes, which is in this Taurus and Scorpio axis, which is your 10th and 4th house matter. So whatever you're trying to achieve, Leo, in your life, you may feel kind of pulled in either direction in terms of your career matters and your home matters. So this is a time to understand what your vision is for your career, because that's where the North Node is, that's where your focus is, that's where what you're learning. Now, it's a good idea to release any kind of stuck energy or your mindset. If something is holding you back emotionally and you're not able to fulfill your destiny, whatever you're trying to achieve, this full moon may pose some kind of challenges in that area as well. So it's very important to have clear path, clear vision of what you are trying to achieve, because you may feel emotionally pulled in either direction, and you may not understand where to go and what decisions to make. So definitely a good idea to sit down and plan your whatever you are trying to achieve in terms of your career, and balancing it out with your home life as well, Leos. Now, Venus and Mars is going to be in the sign of Capricorn in your 6th house, which is about your daily duties, how you structure your life, how you discipline your life. So with so much emphasis on your relationship and your career and home matters, it only makes sense to, have some kind of balancing energy in your daily life, how you structure your life, how you discipline your life. Because if you structure your life, if you have a plan on how you want to do your work and your health matters and just your daily chores and, rituals, whatever you have on a daily basis, then it makes sense that you will be able to balance the other energies out as well in your life. So definitely Venus and Mars together has this energy of being creative, passionate, driven to achieve those house matters wherever it goes. So this is a great time to really put down a plan, a disciplined plan, a structured plan for your day, to plan your day so that you can achieve whatever you want to achieve in terms of your work, health, career, home, relationship matters and all that. So definitely a great time to balance and find harmony, and this full moon is going to give you a greater awareness in terms of your own path, your life path, your priorities, your destiny, where you are heading and where you want to go. So definitely a good time to structure your day, structure your life, and have clear vision in terms of your destiny, Leos. Virgos, for you, the full moon in Leo occurs in your 12th house. Now, 12th house is a house of retreat. It's a house of solitude. It's a house of spiritual, inclination and your subconscious, and also the house of past pattern and closure. So this is the time. So there's a lot of focus, Virgos, on your 12th house matter. So this is a time to take a rest maybe and to focus more on your spiritual side, on your rejuvenating your energies, recharging your batteries, and also releasing any kind of past pattern, something that is holding you back, something that is not helping you grow. So you may have the tendency to withdraw from people and stay away and escape the daily life and just rejuvenate and stay away in solitude and just focus on your own self, on your own health and well-being. But Sun is in the sign of Aquarius, which is your opposite sign to the 12th house, in the 6th house, which is about daily duties. It's about chores, it's about routine and habits and just work and health matters. So there's a lot of focus on so there's a lot of focus on your sixth house as well during this time. So the best way forward, Virgos, is to find a balance. So the best way forward, Virgos, is to find a balance between wanting to, escape, wanting your solitude, your, to focus on your healing and your, spiritual side, and to take care of what's there in the daily life, your work, your health matters, the daily routines, the appointments, the schedules, all those things that you need to take care of on a daily basis. So the best thing is to find a balance. Now, along with Sun in the sign of Aquarius, there's also Saturn and Mercury in the sign of Aquarius during this full moon, and Saturn has been there for a year now. So you're already rebuilding and strengthening your sixth house matter, your daily chores, you're restructuring it. Any kind of delaying or limiting factor is getting an overhaul in your life, in your daily life, basically in your lifestyle around your work. And also if there's any kind of toxic work pattern, job, something that is not helping you grow, something that's limiting you, all these things are getting redefined. And with Sun and Mercury in the sign of Aquarius with the full moon opposing, so during this full moon there's going to be a lot of awareness regarding how you should proceed, how you should structure your life. If it's affecting your health, then this full moon in the sign of Leo in your 12th house is going to give you some kind of closure, some kind of understanding of how to proceed, what is the best path forward in terms of your your overall well-being, your work and your well-being both matters, because 6th and 12th house axis is about your health and well-being as well, and your your healing needs and your physical and mental health as well. So if there's something that's holding you back, Virgos, in terms of your job situation, your work situation, if it's not healthy, then it's time to have that understanding how to proceed, how to make it more conducive to your well-being, how to focus on yourself. And even if you need to look at other jobs and other situation where you will be more happy, then this is the time to look at these matters. Now this full moon is going to form a square aspect to the nodes that are in Taurus and Scorpio axis. So that's your 9th house and 3rd house. So 9th house is where your true node is, where your Taurus north node is. So there's a lot of focus on wanting to explore, wanting new opportunities, wanting to expand your horizon, travel and learn and all that, to come up with better opportunities to progress in life. So this square aspect from this full moon may kind of pose some kind of challenges in terms of the opportunities that you're seeking, the expansion that you're seeking, or just the traveling or learning needs that you have if you want to travel. This full moon may have some kind of challenging aspect to these areas that you're trying to achieve. And with this squaring aspect, you may feel pulled in either direction. You may not have clear understanding, clear vision of the path where you want to go in terms of your expansion, in terms of your growth, in terms of your communication, how you communicate, your perspective, your belief system, the opportunities that you want to take, the future opportunities, your life purpose and life path. You may feel a bit kind of pulled in either direction, and you may not have a clear understanding, or even if you do understand what you want to ultimately achieve during this time, you may feel a little bit unclear. Your vision may feel unclear during this time. So the best thing is to take a break, understand what you plan, and plan your move in a better way, because there's a lot of focus on your 6th house matter anyways, because you are structuring your day, you're structuring your life, you're finding a better way of doing things. If a certain way of doing whatever you do on a daily life is not working out, it's time to change that. And this full moon is going to give you that awareness of how to go about and what to do. And also Venus and Mars is in the sign of Capricorn in your 5th house. Now Capricorn is about career matters, it's about your public image and reputation, because it has a 10th house energy. So Venus and Mars in the 5th house, which is about your creative expression, solar projects, your own passions, your talents and hobbies. So all this is going to get a really powerful, harmonious energy from Venus and Mars in your 5th house matter. So you will definitely have more desire to project your creative side in terms of your career as well, and just in terms of overall growth and advancement in life, most definitely. So it's going to bring a lot of gratification and enjoyment and happiness as you figure out what you want to achieve in terms of your daily life, your career matters, your expansion, new opportunities, new territories that you want to explore, Virgos. Libras, for you, the full moon in Leo occurs in your 11th house. Now, 11th house is the house of your community, your social setting, your friend circle, group activities, collaborations, and just your hopes and wishes, your professional gains, and all that. So there's a lot of focus, spotlight on the 11th house matter. Now, this full moon is going to give you awareness regarding your role in the group. You will be more aware of that you are part of something bigger than yourself, because 11th house has this energy of the world. It is a very collective minded house. So your role in the collective, you'll be a little bit more in tune with that energy, with that message around this full moon, Libras. Now, this can also mean something you're doing online, or just in your community as well, because 11th house has this Aquarius energy. The natural 11th house is Aquarian energy, so it has that collective energy, and it can be your audience, or it can be the people that you're connecting with online as well, because it's got the technology kind of theme as well, Libras. So you're definitely very much gravitated towards connecting with the community and connecting with your audience, and really putting the needs of your peers and group and collaborators and the people you work with, people you connect with, over your own needs during this time. But Sun is in the sign of Aquarius in your 5th house, so there's a need to balance what you connect and how you connect with other people, and what your role in the crowd versus your solo projects, your own creative expression, your own self-expression, your hobbies and talents. So there's a need to balance it out. Though there's a full moon, there's a lot of emotional connection to the collective mindset, but the Sun is in the sign of Aquarius, where your soul growth is taking place. Also, Saturn and Mercury is going to be in the 5th house along with Sun, though they are not conjunct. But your 5th house matter is also getting redefined and restructured, and there's a lot of movement happening in your 5th house matter for a year now. So this full moon is going to create more awareness in terms of your role in the crowd and your own talents, hobbies, passions, interest, and all that, Libras. So you may at times feel that what you desire for yourself, your own interest, your own passions, your need to express yourself on a solo level may kind of take over your group mindset or collective mindset at times, because there's quite a heavy energy in the Aquarius house. So the best thing is to find a balance between both the energies, because the full moon is a time of relationship, it's a time of finding a balance. So anybody you are connecting with in terms of people at large, in terms of collective, and yourself, so it's a good idea to find a balance, Libras. Now, this full moon is going to form a square aspect to the nodes, which is in your 8th house and 2nd house. That's where Taurus and Scorpio axis is, and that's where the north node and south node are. So this full moon is going to form a square aspect to the node. Now, a full moon forming a square aspect with the nodes can make you emotionally feel pulled in either direction of your north node and south node. So the matters that you are learning and you're gravitating towards, which is your north node, and what you're releasing, what you are resolving, which is your south node. So you may feel kind of a disconnect, a path that you want to take, the vision that you have for the future regarding your finances, disconnect to that vision momentarily around this full moon. So it is a challenging aspect, but if you channel the energy positively and constructively, you will come up with some kind of solution. Now, Venus and Mars in your 4th house during this whole month. So this 4th house, which is your home life and home energy, there's a lot of harmonious energy in your 4th house matter. So it's a good time to redecorate your where you live, your space, and really find some balance environment for yourself to think, like something like a sanctuary where you can have a time to yourself and really recoup your energy to have emotional balance and emotional nurturance for yourself, find emotional nurturance and nourishment for yourself and other people, your family members as well. So this Venus and Mars together is going to give you that inclination to spend more time in terms of your family matters, and really focus on your family members and your roots and your emotional and physical foundation during this time. So overall, Libra, this full moon is a time of what brings you personal gratification and what is your role in a collective mindset. So definitely it's a good idea to balance the energies in terms of your solo input, your solo projects, and what you bring, the talents and skills that you bring in a collective environment, Libras. Scorpios, for you, the full moon in Leo occurs in your 10th house. Now, 10th house is the house of your career, your public reputation, your life direction, your way in the world, your external projection. So full moon in your 10th house, Scorpios, makes you want to be seen, want to be more visible, and really go after the career direction, the career progress, climbing up the ladder, the achievements, the accolades, all these things. So you're very much focused on these matters. You're emotionally very much focused on these matters during this time. So you're definitely looking for praise and fame in your career matters, and that can be your job or business, either way. So any kind of profession you're involved in is going to get spotlighted during this time, most definitely. Now the sun is opposite the moon, so it will be in your 4th house. So sun is in the sign of Aquarius in your 4th house, and the 4th house is about your home turf. It's about your family members, your own emotional foundation, your emotional foundation, physical foundation, both. So there is going to be a need to balance the energies between the 10th house and 4th house matters. So just focusing on career and your outward projection is not going to be harmonious in your life during this time. So you have to find a balance between your home and work, both the aspect. Now it's a good time to also take a break, spend time at home with family members, connect with them, bond with them during this time. So ultimately find a balance between your career matters and your home matters. Now this full moon is forming a square aspect with the nodes which are in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio. So it is the south node is in your sign, Scorpios. Now that is your 1st and 7th house. That's a relationship house. So all your angles are getting activated during this full moon. So all the angles are getting activated for you, Scorpios, during this full moon. So when a full moon comes in a square aspect to the nodes, what happens is you feel emotionally pulled in either direction. So your north node direction and your south node direction. Now south node is in your 1st house, so there's a kind of a need to release control and trust more on other people. So you may be self-focused and relying more on your own self to do accomplish things, and not trusting other people or your interaction with other people, the relationship that you form. Now this can come obviously from past experiences or just an intuitive awareness that depending on other people is not beneficial for you. But during these 18 months of North Node being in your 7th house, there is a need to trust the other person, especially the ones who have good intention towards you. So this full moon is going to highlight this need of trusting yourself, finding a balance between trusting yourself and trusting others. And if you feel that the path is not clear, the vision that you have to create relationship or a healthy relationship is not clear, it's good to channel your energy constructively and see both sides before you make any kind of decision regarding your relationship and your home and career matters as well, because all the angles are definitely activated during this full moon for you, Scorpios. Now Venus and Mars is going to form a conjunction in the sign of Capricorn, which is your 3rd house. Now 3rd house is all to do with communication, your community, your neighbor, networking, connecting with people, business, job, anything that you do to skill yourself, upskill yourself, using your talent to sign a deal or sign a contract or whatever that might be. So this conjunction of Venus and Mars kind of brings a harmonious energy between your creativity and your drive to form connections, to form network for the benefit of your for career growth, for more job opportunities, better projects, better deals, contracts that you want to sign. So definitely this Venus and Mars conjunction is kind of will bring a balancing kind of aspect to your third house. Now Mars and Venus are not forming any kind of aspect with the full moon, but it's still active during this full moon. So even if it's separately influencing you, it is kind of vital to discuss the energies available around the full moon. So Scorpios, during this full moon, your home, your sensitive side is definitely highlighted, and there is a need to balance it with your life direction, the career direction, the public image, the reputation, the career, the movement, the upward movement that you're hoping for. And if you find a balance, then you will be able to direct your energy better and achieve a balance in, or harmony in, both the matters, and communicate better, and find a different way of communicating if what the existing way is not working out. So definitely communicate better in your relationship, in your home environment, with family members and all that. So the inner contentment that you will get during this time will help you in externally achieving your career goals, Scorpios. Sagittarius, for you, the full moon in the sign of Leo on the 16th of February occurs in your 9th house. The 9th house is about exploring, it's about expanding your mind, it's about traveling, learning, and just seeking new experiences and new opportunities. So a full moon here is bringing a lot of spotlight in your 9th house matter. So you're definitely very inclined and keen to experience these things, learning, traveling, educating yourself, new things, new experiences, meeting new people is definitely on your mind during this time. And this full moon is going to bring some kind of awareness, some kind of fulfillment, some kind of culmination in terms of your desire to explore, desire to have new experiences, and also things that go beyond what you normally do, things that you have not experienced before. Now Sun is in the sign of Aquarius in the opposite house to the 9th, which is the 3rd house, which is about local community, your inner close ties, your neighborhood, people you connect on a daily basis in your local community, basically. So you may be inclined to gravitate to that energy as well, the 3rd house energy, which is bringing you closer to home. And 9th house is taking you away from home, and 3rd house is bringing you closer to home. So definitely there's a need to balance in both the matters, because besides the Sun in Aquarius is also Saturn and Mercury in the sign of Aquarius in your 3rd house. Now Saturn and Mercury are not conjunct, they're not close to Sun, but still there is an energy of Saturn in your 3rd house, and it's been there for the 1 year. And with Mercury there is a lot of focus on your 3rd house energies. So communication, information sharing, a message sharing, whatever message you want to convey, and that can be online with your audience, social media, or just even interacting physically with your local community. So all these things are definitely there, and you are definitely trying to build the network, the connection to advance in your career, to advance in life, and to have that new life direction that you're seeking, Sagittarius. Now Venus and Mars is in the sign of Capricorn, which is your 2nd house of money matters, your personal finance. So these new connection that you're seeking over a period of time now is going to reap you those financial rewards, especially when Venus and Mars are together. So the efforts that you have been putting is going to reap some kind of financial benefit, especially if you did the hard work, if you did you've put in the work when the Venus was retrograde in the last couple of months. So if you have done your analysis, if you have reassessed your choices and your financial matters as well, if you had you set a plan and you have really worked on your financial plan, then you will definitely see some kind of gain coming in your financial matters. Now this full moon in Leo on the 16th of February is going to be squaring the nodes, which are in Taurus and Scorpio axis, which is your 6th house and 12th house. So Taurus is your 6th house. Now 6th house is about your work and health matters, and that kind of comes together with the 9th house energy and 3rd house energy, because 9th house is about exploring and trying out new things, new opportunities, and 3rd house is about connecting, networking for signing a better deal, a better contract, and that can be a job or business related as well. So there is this challenging aspect from the full moon to the north node can kind of put you off on a path that is not clear, or that is the vision is not clear what you're trying to achieve, because you're pulled in either direction. You're trying to get a job, or getting out of a toxic work environment and want to get a new job, and with the 12th house energy which you're trying to release, which is taking a break and withdrawing yourself from people. So there's a need to so there's a need to improve your work environment and get a better job. Plus there's you need to release any tendency of escapism. So this full moon this full moon may make this aspect a little bit even more unclear during this time. So it's very important to balance your energies out and really look into what you're trying to achieve and where you're trying to go, and the jobs, the new deals, the message that you want to convey, the information that you want to share, and that can be on social media. Just be mindful that you're a little bit more structured in what you're trying to achieve. So make sure the message you're trying to convey and the connection that you're trying to make, you're not overdoing it, and you are understanding basically what is the bigger picture, where you want to go, what are the opportunities you want to take, and how you want to connect with people basically. So that all these things kind of leads into like a financial benefit and better job environment, work environment, and all this can help you recoup your energy and focus on your health matters as well. So definitely it's a time to look at the bigger picture and see your life direction and your life choices that you're making, the life path from a larger perspective, and move on in terms of your work and financial matter by really balancing the energies out of your communication, how you connect with people, how you communicate, the larger perspective, keeping that in mind, your work and health matters, and not withdrawing from people but trying to connect with them more during this time, Sagittarius. Capricorn, for you the full moon in Leo occurs in your 8th house. Now 8th house is the house of joint finances, shared finances, and shared values. It's a very collaborative, cooperative house in terms of mutually benefiting financial situation and how you build your resources, your finances together. And this together can be with anybody who is, it can be a business partner, or it's your spouse, or anybody you are intimately financially connected with. So full moon in your 8th house is bringing a spotlight on your 8th house matter, and full moon means some kind of fulfillment or some kind of gratification or culmination or resolution or release in your 8th house matters. So if you had put some kind of financial plan in the last 6 months, you may see some kind of result, some kind of resolution, some kind of news or awareness in your 8th house, in your shared finances and shared value. Now sun is in the sign of Aquarius, in the opposite house to the 8th, which is your 2nd house, which is about your personal finance, how you make your own money, what is your money making capabilities, and it's also about your personal value, your self-worth. Along with sun, there's also Saturn and Mercury in the sign of Aquarius. It's not together with the sun, it's not conjunct, but the energy of Saturn is already there for the last 1 year in your 2nd house. So you're already redefining, restructuring, planning your finances, and any kind of fear or restriction that you were feeling may move away during this time, because you have some kind of awareness of what you can build together with somebody, or you have got some kind of outcome in terms of your 8th house, and that is kind of releasing the fear or restriction in your financial matters, in your personal financial matters. So your houses of material gains, both personally and collaboratively or coming together, is spotlighted during this time. So it's a good time also to create any kind of financial plan if you haven't done it already, and budget on, watch out your spending, your expenditure, how you're making money, your living expenses, and also what other people are contributing in your life in terms of your financial situation situation in terms of building resources and finances. So both these matters need to be balanced during this time to really reap the best reward in both either areas. So definitely find a balance in your second house and eighth house matter in terms of your finances, and it's a good time to really have some kind of structure in your financial matters so that you don't end up in kind of a financial upheaval later on. So there would be some kind of resolution or some kind of awareness, something will come to clarity, or your mindset might change and you may see things more clearly where your financial matters are concerned, Capricorn. Now this full moon is forming a square aspect with the nodes which are in the sign of Taurus and Scorpio. Now Taurus and Scorpio is your 5th house and 11th house. So Taurus is your 5th house, that's where North Node is, and 11th house is your Scorpio, that's where South Node is. Now this full moon in the sign of Leo is squaring both these energies. So when full moon squares your nodes, what happens is you kind of feel pulled in either direction. So if you're trying to choose the best path forward in terms of expressing your talents, skills, and being part of a collective group or group project, you may feel pulled in either direction, and you may not have a complete clear understanding of what you're trying to achieve in terms of your path, your life direction, the vision that you have in terms of your North Node in the 5th house, in terms of North Node being in your 5th house of expressing your talents and interests that you have, and being less of a community kind of collective kind of mindset or mainstream kind of mindset. So you are trying to gather your personal power, Capricorn, most definitely, and not just be in the crowd as just another member of the crowd. You want something more individual, more solo in terms of what you're trying to express. Now this full moon may create some kind of the path may be a bit unclear how you want to go about doing that during this full moon, but it will nevertheless, if you balance the energies and be a little bit more constructive in terms of planning things, you will have better understanding going forward, Capricorn. Now Venus and Mars are both in the sign of Capricorn, your sign in your 1st house. So how you're projecting yourself, how you're coming across to other people, your personal destiny, your priorities, all these are very much harmoniously highlighted, spotlighted during this full moon. So it's a good time to project yourself, and even in a relationship, because when planets come in your 1st house, your relationship aspect also comes into play, Capricorn. So definitely in relationship with yourself and others are highlighted. So it's really a good time to project yourself in the best possible manner, and transform the way you appear, the way you project yourself, the way you communicate yourself, Capricorn. So overall, Capricorn, it's a wonderful time to have some more clarity in terms of your financial matters, and really see what you can build together, how you can mutually benefit together in a relationship or in a financial mutually beneficial financial situation. And all this is going to help you project your what you want, your life direction, your life path, and it will make you come across more in your own power, and your personal power will be highlighted most definitely if things are more balanced and you take a more balanced approach in your financial matter, in your life direction matter, and how you are projecting your how you're expressing yourself on a personal level, Capricorn. Aquarius, for you, the full moon in the sign of Leo on the 16th of February occurs in your opposite sign, in your opposite house. That's the 7th house of relationship. So your house of partnership, your one-to-one interaction, your business, personal partnership, relationship, all that is highlighted during this time, during the full moon in the sign of Leo on the 16th of February. So with full moon, you might come to realization about something relating to your relationship, some kind of awareness or culmination, or if you're trying to build a relationship or doing something together, that may come to culmination as well during this time, Aquarius. Now Sun is in your sign in the 1st house during this time, so there's a lot of focus on your own personal destiny, on your own personal path, on yourself, how you project, how you communicate yourself. Now Saturn and Mercury is also going to be in the sign of Aquarius during this full moon, so there's an added emphasis on yourself. Now Saturn has been there for a year now, so you're already redefining yourself, how you project yourself, what your life path is, what your future destiny is, what you want to achieve basically going forward. So there's a lot of focus in there. But during this full moon, especially Aquarius, there's a time to balance the relationship with yourself and with others people. So you may be very charged up in terms of what you want for yourself, what you want in terms of your life, where you want to go, life path, direction, all that. You are definitely charged, very energized and enthusiastic about that. But this is a good time to balance the energies and also listen to other people's perspective, what they have to say, the contribution they have to make in your life, the expectations that they have from you, from a relationship. So definitely during this full moon, it's time to balance the energies of your relationship axis of 1st and 7th house. Now Aquarius, this full moon in Leo is going to form a square aspect with the nodes, which is your 4th house and 10th house. That's your Scorpio and Taurus axis, where the North Node and South Node are. So North Node is in your 4th house and South Node is in your career house in your 10th house. So this full moon is squaring the nodes. So when full moon squares the nodes, basically what happens, you feel pulled in either direction and you don't know, because you don't have a clear path, your vision seems unclear during this time. You may get confused because you don't know where to spend your energy more during this time. Now there is a need to nurture your home life, yourself, during this time, because North Node is where you're learning. It's in your 4th house. So with this square aspect from the Leo full moon, you may feel a little bit unsettled or conflicted in your in your home matters, especially when it comes to relationships. So your relationship matter and what you're trying to achieve in your home and in your career matters may feel a little bit conflicted, even though you are focusing, you're interested, you're inclined to focus more on your home matters, and you're releasing any kind of limiting pattern in your career matters. But the relationship, the full moon, is kind of going to create some kind of conflicting environment. So Aquarius, the best way to move forward is by balancing the energies and constructively channeling your energy for the best outcome during this time. Now Venus and Mars is going to be in the sign of Capricorn during this time and in your 12th house. Now 12th house is a very private house. It's about isolation, closure. It's a prep time as well. It's a very subconscious, unconscious related house. It's to do with your spiritual side. It's to do with having a quiet time, retreating time. So with Venus and Mars energy in your 12th house, taking a break, retreating may be very gratifying and rewarding for you. If there's any kind of past pattern, releasing those old way of doing thing, old mindset, and finding closure within your relationship, in your house, home matters, and just basically in your life, in anything that is keeping you stuck, releasing that. This could be a great time to do that, and you will feel a certain sort of inner contentment by doing that, and this will help you balance your relationship and your home and career matters as well, Aquarius. Pisces, for you, the Leo full moon occurs in your 6th house. Now 6th house is all about your work and health matters. So there could be something that you have put in process like 6 months ago in terms of your work and health matters that could reach a kind of a culmination or a fulfillment or some kind of awareness or resolution to move on to the next energy. So maybe you started a diet plan or an exercise regime, and that is reaping reward or giving you the outcome during this full moon in Leo. So something on that lines, or even work matters, maybe something you started, a project, or some kind of a job situation, a work environment, delegating, or a job position, maybe a promotion, something that was underway in the last 6 months comes to culmination during this time. Now 6th house is a very busy house. It's associated with your daily life, with your routines, your schedules, appointments, just generally what you do on a daily basis, your habits, your chores, just organizing and structuring your daily life. That's what the 6th house energy is. So with the full moon in 6th house, it's also about finding a structure, finding consistency, finding a plan to go about and manage your daily life. Now, Sun is in the sign of Aquarius during this full moon, which is the opposite sign to the sign of Leo, and will be in your 12th house. So 12th house is about solitary time, quiet time, retreating time, taking a break kind of time. Also, it's related to your spiritual side, your subconscious, old patterns and or closures and all that. So with the 12th house energy, even though you're busy with your daily life and what you're doing, your routine, your schedule and all that, you still may be drawn towards having a quiet time and doing some creative, imaginative work in your solitary time, in your by yourself, in escaping from the the hustle and bustle of sixth house during this full moon. So definitely the best way forward is to find a balance between what you do on a daily basis and finding your quiet time to retreat and to take a break, Pisces. Now this full moon in the sign of Leo is going to square the nodes which are on the Taurus and Scorpio axis. Now Taurus and Scorpio is your third house and ninth house axis. So with the third house influence of North Node, which is what you're developing during these 18 months. So with the full moon squaring the nodes, the energy it basically means is you are pulled in either direction and you don't have a clear path or clear vision how to handle both the energies of third house and ninth house matter. Now especially with the third house where the North Node is, you're trying to achieve or upskilling yourself, learning something new and wanting to explore other options in terms of your jobs or any communication or information sharing. Now with this full moon in sixth house squaring the North Node in third house, your daily life may keep you so busy that you're unable to focus on upskilling yourself and learning something new. So definitely there's a need to balance and find time to do things that is going to grow you as well, Pisces, during this time. Now Venus and Mars is in the sign of Capricorn in your 11th house of social setting, group work, collaboration, your professional gains and your hopes and wishes. So this is a good time to acknowledge any influential people in your life that has helped you achieve your goals, your professional goals. So with Venus and Mars in the 11th house of social network, you will find some kind of harmonious energy in your social setting, most definitely, Pisces. But Pisces, at the same time, it's important to watch out for not easily trusting any and everybody. You need to look at things in a balanced way with your whole life, where you're trying to get, where you're going, and put your trust in people who are you have a rapport with, or somebody you connect with, somebody basically. And even though 11th house is a house of new encounters, it's a good idea to acknowledge people who contributes in your life. So Pisces, with this full moon in Leo on your 6th and 12th house axis, it's a time of health and healing as well, because 6th and 12th house is the Virgo Pisces energy anyway. So it's definitely time to focus on surrendering yourself, not overexerting, even though there's a focus on your daily life and daily schedule. It's a good idea to take a break and recoup your energy, recharge your batteries, spend time alone, and just focus on your spiritual side and inspiration, creativity and imagination. That's a good way of balancing the 6th and 12th house energy, and this is going to definitely heal you, and also will help you appreciate time away from busy schedules and routines that you are involved in during this full moon. Thank you very much for watching my full moon in Leo video. I hope you can use this full moon energy, and with a lot of Aquarian and Capricorn, Venus, Mars energy around this time, to really find a balance in your life and make conscious decision in terms of what is best for your life path and life direction. So thank you very much again. Have a good day.